We all know that the lighting on the interior of the 4Runner is pretty underwhelming, dim, and yellow, so today we're going to be upgrading it with this kit right here. So this is going to include lights for the map light, the dome light, and also the rear hatch light. You can change the light between white and red lighting, and you can also change the brightness with this. If you guys don't want to buy the whole kit, you can get these all individually. They're all going to be available at YotaXpedition.com. The links are in the description. When it comes to installation of these lights, it's going to be pretty simple. The only tools you're going to need are a trim prying tool, a Phillips head screwdriver, and maybe a pair of pliers to pinch these wire connectors together for the dome light. On a scale of 1 to 3, I would say that this is a level 2 for the difficulty, only because we have to drop the console on the headliner down, and then the dome light, you also have to do a little bit of work to get these wired in. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and jump into the install. We're going to start with the map lights here, so let's go ahead and jump into the 4Runner. As you can see, these are pretty dim and yellow. We're going to go ahead and turn those off because those bulbs do get pretty hot, and we're going to take a trim prying tool. We're going to put it in here and simply pop these covers off. Very easy. And then the centerpiece you can just grab with your fingers and pull that down. Okay, now we do need to pull this whole console down from the headliner. So there's a couple screws we need to remove, and they are behind this piece right here. But you simply just grab it from either side and you can pull this down pretty easy. Now if you want to unplug this just to get it out of your way. Now looking up inside here, you can see we have 2 Phillips head screws. We'll go ahead and remove both of those. With the screws removed, now we can just take this and pull it down. Again, this comes down pretty easily, but we also have one big plug here that we need to remove. All right, so we have this piece out, and on the workbench, we're going to turn it over and we're going to pull both of these bulbs out, which you simply just twist and pull those out. Now with those bulbs removed, we're going to take the new light, we're going to take the plug, and we're going to feed the plug through where the bulb was, like so, and then we can go ahead and get this dropped in place and snapped in. Now that we have the light installed, we're going to go ahead and get it wired. So we have one plug right here on the back side that we are going to get unplugged, this one right here. As you can see, I used the pry tool to help me get that depressed. Go ahead and pull that out. Okay, so now that we have that plug unplugged, we're going to take our jumper harness here. As you can see, it has a bunch of wires that go into the plug that we just took out, and then we have 3 wires that go to a smaller plug. So essentially what we're doing is bypassing all of the other stuff in this whole unit and just isolating the wiring for the light itself to operate how we want. So we'll plug that into there. Then we'll take the other end, we'll plug that back into the plug that we just removed. And then we take the 3-pin plug and plug that into our light. Now we need to just do some wire management, so I'm going to take this bundle of wire and I'm going to tuck it underneath this hook, right like that, and push that down in place. And then we can also take the plug for the light itself and we'll tuck that down in there, and then we'll go ahead and get this reinstalled. Get this plugged in. As you can see, those are already on and way brighter than the factory ones. So you can see we have these 2 white pins right here, and those are going to be going into these 2 black pins. So just line those up and snap it into place, like so, and then push the front up and get those 2 screws reinstalled. Okay, plug this back in, put it back up in there, snap that in, and now the map lights are done. So with the map light finished up, let's go ahead to the back seat and do the dome light. In the back of the 4Runner now, we're going to go ahead again, turn this off so that we don't get burned by that bulb. We're going to take the trim prying tool and just pop it into this lens cover, and this will easily come out like so. Now we need to pull this whole unit out of the ceiling. You can see right here we have a clip. Just go ahead and pull that, and we also have another one kind of behind this switch right here. So we'll go ahead and press that one as well and pull this whole unit out from the headliner like so. So now we need to take off this unit here from the whole light assembly. In order to do so, we need to take this switch and pop that off. Accidentally turn the light on in the process. Let me just go ahead and turn that back off. So again, we'll take the trim prying tool and we'll go on each corner. And well, we only had to do 2 and it popped out. All right, so now we need access to the wiring. So this piece right here, we need to pop off. You can see on each corner, there is a clip. So we'll go ahead and use our trim prying tool or a small flathead screwdriver and we'll pop that off. Before we wire our new light, we need to get it attached to the OEM surrounding piece. So we're going to take our wires and feed them through where our switch was. And then we can snap this in place. So we got the one side in. This is a little bit of a tight fit. We'll take our trim prying tool and we'll give ourselves a little bit of room to get this snapped in. There we go. Same with this side. So once you get this open, you can see we have 3 wires and they're all white. So the wire closest to the bulb is going to be going to the red wire on our new light. The middle wire is going to be going to the black wire, and the wire all the way on the left is going to be going to the white wire. So if you want to do these all together, you can, or you can pull one wire out at a time. That way you can remember which one is what. So we'll go ahead and take these wires, we'll slip them into the connectors. We'll crimp them down and then we'll use our little needle nose to make sure it's seated all the way and clips in. So we got that all done. We'll go ahead and tuck our wires up there and get this snapped in place. So the whole light is touch sensitive, so you can touch it to change it from white to red. You can also turn it off and then you can hold it and that will change the brightness. Now, as you can see, we did eliminate the switch that was on the OEM light, but it still does function with the door if you have the light in the on position before you close the door. So after you close the door, wait a little bit, and just like your factory lights, they will shut off. All right, so with the dome light all finished up, we're gonna go ahead now and do the rear hatch lights. All right, so back here at the rear of the 4Runner, we're gonna go ahead now and pull both of the hatch lights out. So for this, all you're gonna need is a trim prying tool, and looking up at the lights on the left side of each light is where we're gonna be prying. So we're gonna go ahead and put our trim prying tool in there, simply pry it down, and we'll go ahead and unplug it. Simple as that. Right here is the metal clip. That is what is on the left side of each light. So you just push that down, and the light will come out. All right, so now that we have the OEM light out, we need to take off the factory lens, and then we are going to swap on the new one. They virtually look identical. So what we need to do is take our trim prying tool. There is 4 tabs, 2 on each side, that hold the lens onto the housing. So we'll go ahead and pop that off. Now we're gonna remove the factory bulb. We'll just go ahead and pull that back. Let the bulb drop out, and that's where the plug for our new light is going to go through. And now all we need to do is snap on the new cover, and we can reinstall this. So just plug the new harness into our factory harness. As you can see, they turned on, and we'll go ahead and tuck that back up in there and snap it in place. Go ahead and get this other side swapped out real quick. Okay, so now that we have the new lights in, I do want to mention that your factory switch here obviously is no longer hooked up to anything, but your lights work on by touch. And if you have your hatch closed and you go to open it, the lights will automatically turn on. All right guys, that's gonna wrap up the install for the map lights, the dome lights, and the rear hatch lights here on the 5th Gen 4Runner. If you guys have any questions about this install, ask me down below in the comments, and if you wanna pick any 3 of these lights up for your 4Runner, you can grab them from YotaXpedition.com and definitely make a drastic difference of the interior of your 4Runner. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next one.